Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Frolfcenter presented by Frolfer Magazine. This is episode 45, gentlemen. April 8th, 2021. I'm Austin Lytle, as usual. Adam, Cody, what up, boys?
What's up, dude? If you guys are having trouble on seeing this on Facebook, Facebook's been all sorts of messed up today. So you might have to go over to YouTube and check it out, just so you guys know. We got a little info from Facebook, and they've had they went down globally for like an hour earlier today, so they're not having a good time. But anyway, I'm Adam. It's good to see you guys. Don't forget, for All for Fridays, week 4 coming up tomorrow. Long pads. Sign in at 3:45. Tee off at around 4:20ish. Rain or shine tomorrow. $2 to play, $5 for aces and CTPs, and $10 all in if you think you're gonna make some money. Cody, what's up with you, bud?
Hey guys, just out here living the pollen dream up here in North Carolina. On sale tomorrow for all other divisions. My tournament, May Madness, powered by Frolfer Magazine itself. You can find it on Disc Golf Scene. And for all you are going to jump over and watch on YouTube, make sure to smash that subscribe button. And other than that, I will be thanking some sponsors later in the show. But let's get this bad boy going.
Cody, when you say powered by Frolfer Magazine, what exactly does that mean?
I have no
Can you
clue.
tell the people what that means?
You told me to put it. So.
Yeah,
We're sponsoring the porta potty.
We got the porta potty as well.
Yeah. So they're powering the porta potty. If you guys have to use the restroom at the tournament, you'll see tons of Frother ads and interviews and
articles, in the porta potty.
In the porta potty. And the QR code.
We're the consummate professionals. Anyway, guys, we're going to get right to it. Our guest tonight, first of all, disc golf is growing extremely fast. We all know that. Things are getting crazy. This has been a weird year for new disc golfers and old disc golfers alike. And somebody with a really unique perspective on that is Mr. Peter Crist. He is the director of technology for the PDGA, and he's also the founder of Disc Golf Scene. So if you guys would, give a big welcome to Mr. Peter Crist.
Yo, what's going on, man?
Hey, fellas.
Let me get you on the big screen.
Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Happy to be here. Love what you guys are doing with the porta potty sponsorships.
Yeah, that's our goal. That's our new goal.
We gotta do.
The girls told us that that's like the one thing that needs to happen at every tournament. So we're just making sure that's taken care of.
Very good.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I'm up first. Sorry.
Yeah, that's first, of course.
That's new. Sorry. So first question we always ask everybody is, what was your first disc golf experience? What course? Where were you at? Who were you with?
My first disc golf experience?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you.
Oh, I love it.
Like the opportunity for these sunglasses to add some drama to the story.
Yeah, it's good. It's
like, perfect.
Yeah, just in case. Anytime.
So you were in a high-speed action suit, and you wound up on a disc golf course.
Yeah. Car was on fire. Had 3 wheels left. Rolled up to Hudson Mills Metro Park in Dexter, Michigan.
Okay.
This was, Louise, 2 decades ago. So 2001. It was Hudson Mills. I think they had both courses at the time, but Hudson Mills was I would say it's a crown jewel. I think they had the World Championships there in '99. That was my first course, man. Went out in high school in between junior and senior year. And I think I was throwing like a Valkyrie sidearm like an idiot, just like shanking it all over the course. And that's what everybody did in high school. Everybody was like, school's done, 3 o'clock, go out to the disc golf course. No adults out there, just nerds having fun. Total party time.
Nice.
I love it, dude.
What about have you gone to any of the courses on Disc Golf Scene just because they're rated high? Have you checked out any of the top courses?
Do you trust the ratings on Disc Golf Scene? I don't know if I can say that, but I have been to the #1 rated course in Michigan, which is Flip City, and it's totally awesome.
Yeah, Flip City. I've heard great things.
Yeah, super cool.
And what about your last round of disc golf? When's the last time you got out there?
Tuesday.
Nice.
My math is correct. Only 2 days ago. Yeah. Well, I went to Rolling Hills, which is in Ypsilanti, Michigan, so not my home course, but it's about 45 minutes away. I have some buddies that live out there, and that's where they want to play, so that's where I went.
Nice.
What's the home course?
Home course now is Heritage Park in Adrian, Michigan, but the home course growing up was always Hudson Mills.
Nice, dude. How long did it take you to decide that you wanted to start taking disc golf like serious and make it into like a career for you?
Ooh, still trying to figure out if that's a viable career path.
Yeah.
It took a while though. It took a while. I think, I started building disc golf scene in like 2007, I believe. And so here we are like 13, almost 14 years later. And I guess probably about 2012 when it started to feel like it was getting a little bit more serious.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that time frame, I guess, between 2001 to 2007, you graduated. You went to school for some computer engineering, or something, I'm guessing.
I spent a couple of years at the world's coolest college, aka WCC, aka Washtenaw Community College. Did not graduate.
The old fighting buzzards or whatever, right?
That's right. Yeah. Fighting buzzards. Yep, that's correct.
Sure.
Yep. Couple of years there, but I escaped without them awarding me any kind of certification or achievement or anything, and just kind of hopped into the workforce and started playing with computers all day.
Nice, dude. So, give us like kind of the backstory behind disc golf scene. You said you kind of started in 2007, and like, where are we at now? And what's your day-to-day involvement with it?
The whole story?
Yeah, give us like.
All right, we got some time. Do you got time?
You got time? Yeah.
I don't think it's actually that long of a story. So started in 2007, launched in 2008, and then started doing like the tournament registration thing in around 2010. And that was just based on talking to the TDs around that they wanted somebody like to set something up that they could do it online because they were all kind of like fumbling around with PayPal and stuff, and it was kind of a pain. And nobody's really doing it well or easily. So we did that 2010, and then 2012, my old boss, Steve Gans, the predecessor, the former director of technology for the PDGA, reached out, and we worked out a deal so that Disc Golf Scene was the official vendor or provider of the registration services for the PDGA. And so we did that for like 4 years and then negotiated an acquisition. And so PDGA bought it in 2017 with the idea that I would come on and continue to run it and work on PDGA technology and eventually take over as director of technology, which happened this year, just a few months ago.
Nice, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, as director of tech, can you give us an audience a basic rundown of like what that entails?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm still responsible for Disc Golf Scene. Disc Golf Scene has only ever been a team of one, which is good in a lot of ways.
That's a large load, bro.
Well, if I know what you mean, it definitely is. So it's really good because it keeps me close to the customer, right? Like there's no
every email I ever get from Disc Golf Scene is from you.
Right. Yeah. And it's actually from me. It's not like somebody like writing as me or whatever. So it's really nice for keeping a finger on the pulse of what is needed, what's happening. Like if people have a bunch of questions or something's going wrong or whatever. So super valuable in that way that I was able to do that. And I think in the classic lazy developer sense, I just, if something comes up a lot, I just automate it so I don't have to worry about it anymore. As disc golf is growing, though, that customer service kind of workload has been growing. So it may be something that we need to take a look at and switch up in the future. But for now, I'm still doing Disc Golf Scene every day. So customer support there and fixes and enhancements and stuff like that. I'm also responsible for the PDGA tech stack, which is most of what we do there is event management and scoring. So you have like the Tournament Manager and Tournament Central, which are the tools that people use to run disc golf events, and then the digital scorecard, which is what people are using to score for PDGA events. So we do I think we've done since last year, like 2,500, 3,000 events, something like that. So we're focusing a lot on that. And then I'm also responsible for player rankings, which is like the world rankings, which we haven't done in a while because of COVID. Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year stuff, and the rating system. So all that stuff together is like what I do on a day to day.
Do you have the magical algorithm? Like you own you can get into the algorithm for ratings?
Yeah. I can sell you rating points for.
Oh yeah,
10,
no, I mean
10 points for $10,000. Yeah,
I wasn't gonna say it on air, but I mean,
yeah, I could use another like 3 points.
I hear Lloyd Lima's got a bunch of money. He might buy some points.
right. Yeah, he hasn't sent us anything yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of money, I've heard. So anyway, yeah.
No, speaking of like being involved in all that, I want to drop a hot question that's not even on our script right now. Like, what's going on with the ladies' Player of the Year last year?
Good question. Yeah, like the Paige Pierce, Katrina Allen thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a.
Was that like a
year for
later
us.
thought, or what's going on?
No, so what happened was internally we had a discussion. We said, "Hey, we're not doing the national tour this year. It's canceled because of COVID."
Right, there's no major points.
Yeah, right. Don't Elite Series events, like the only Elite Series events left are the Pro Tour, the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So shouldn't those count for Elite Series points in the algorithm? And everyone's like, yeah, that makes total sense. We felt like it was a common sense change. And then it turns out it wasn't.
So it ended up being like the same number either way.
Well, so the deal is with the A-tier points, you're limited to 10 events. And so when those 10 events were Pro Tour events, it would just be those Pro Tour events. But when they weren't limited, then some players were able to play more A-tier events that were not on the Pro Tour and just get more points that way. So just kind of something that we didn't really see coming. And then ultimately the board was like, we looked at the algorithm the way it would have been at the beginning of 2020 and the way it was at the end and saw the discrepancy there. And then the board said like the right thing to do is to do the co-player of the year, despite how awkward it might have seemed.
Yeah,
despite how awkward. I agree with that term.
I mean, it sets up the drama, though. It sets up the drama for this year. It really does. It says, okay, well,
right, it does
this year, right? Yeah,
it's true.
And the publicity and the people growing in PDGA is enormous. I love it.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
So, knowing what you know now, would you have done anything differently when starting and growing disc golf scene?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I think there is a lot of opportunity. I think what has contributed to success of disc golf scene is the fact that things are crowdsourced. So TDs don't have to pay to use it. The players pay for the low registration handling fees, which like balances it out. So like there's not somebody that's like putting up a bunch of money to have this thing have tournaments work. And I think that's great. And I think that kind of concept of that crowdsourcing, well, at least in this case, it's money, but other things like the course directory, I probably would have made more like a wiki. And it kind of is now. We're moving towards that direction, but making it so people could contribute more easily to the data set and possibly even the code.
Nice.
It's kind of hard to see those things like right when you start off. That was definitely something that I would look at if I was going to do this from scratch for sure. And then also just make sure like features don't sort of fall by the wayside. I think early on I was kind of like somebody would be like, hey, this is a cool idea. And I'm like, oh, cool. Awesome. I'll stay up till 5 a.m. like coding it,
I'll code that out.
I'm like, it's done, and it's done. It's like, that's great. But then you don't see it, you don't touch it for another 5 years. And so it can kind of like languish a little bit and rot, give it the attention you deserve. So not spreading myself so thin is something that I would focus on as well.
There you go.
Have you ever had to ban anybody from disc golf scene?
Yeah.
Is there anybody on they can't use it anymore?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's like limitations to what you can do, but yeah, there's people that get on there and are just dum-dums, and so you kind of, you block their IP or something like that, and
start creating tournaments just for pay or something.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's obviously like if someone's doing something actually like really bad, you can take further action, like if they're a PDGA member or something. Fortunately, we haven't really had to do anything seriously like that. Mostly people just annoying each other with private messages and stuff, and so like you can block another person so they can't send you stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
But it's been a small problem with how small the disc
Yeah, I
golf
was gonna
scene
say,
is.
most
Like,
disc
as
golf
it
people
grows,
are good beats.
yeah, like most of the stuff that's been issues with that kind of thing has been issues in the past year or so, just because there's like so many more people that are interested in
Wow.
disc golf now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything either the website or yourself still struggles with day to day? Is there like
What do you have in mind?
Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Is there
What are you
just
up
like
against,
one
Steve?
part of your day where you're just like, oh, I have to deal with this again, or does something just not want to mesh that you want to mesh on the site, or anything like that?
Things run. I mean, as far as disc golf scene goes, things run really well. It's pretty awesome. I
mean,
think
by
that
God, it's 20 years in the works here.
Yeah.
sure, like 13, yeah, but
13.
yeah, it's been running for a while. It runs really well. I think just more often now, it's people asking questions of me that they could find the answer themselves if they looked it up. So somebody like runs into something and like has a question, they're just like, let's send an email or whatever. Which is totally fine, not to deter people from doing that, but just like there's a large volume of those emails that are just kind of like you could just find that yourself. So I have a lot of keyboard shortcuts where I can just type like 4 letters on my keyboard and then it'll like write out a paragraph with like a link to
Nice.
the help file and stuff. So yeah, but nothing too bad as far as that goes. I'm pretty happy with how smoothly it runs.
Yeah, I'll be honest. At least once every other tournament, I'll message Pete and be like, "Hey, I can't find the overview page." And then like 30 seconds later, I'll message him and be like, "Oh, never mind, my bad."
Nice.
That's the
Yeah,
most Cody thing I've ever heard.
So,
That's,
is there
that's all right, man.
any new features you're working on that you care to talk about, or anything you would like to do?
Sure. I think disc golf scene. I thought about this before coming on here. I mean, it's mostly pivoted to tournament registration, and so I think that making sure that is still super solid and makes sense to people, and we don't like increase the cost or anything like that, and still runs the way people are used to having it run, I think is really important. So I think with disc golf scene, further integration with the PDGA systems and kind of unifying those a little bit more. I think maybe unifying is a strong word because we don't want it to really be like absorbed, but just making sure that the stuff the disc golf scene does well integrates well with PDGA so that people get the best of both worlds when they're using both systems, I think is really important. But more so, my day-to-day as far as stuff that we're developing is PDGA event management and scoring features, because we've seen the bottleneck of people trying to sign up for tournaments and they fill in 30 seconds. And so like there are ways we can get around like technology wise, but mostly the bottleneck is physical, right? There's only so many tournaments being run. There's only so many players that can fit on a course. So what we're really trying to do with the PDGA is make it so it's really easy and consistent to run PDGA events so that more people can run events and then more people can play in those events.
I think that's a huge goal strategy.
Yeah, it's almost like you're reading the script, because I was literally going to say, we've had in the last year and a half, disc golf has absolutely exploded. There are bottlenecks, there are some growing pains, there are hiccups, there's a lot of things going on. And it's like you said, it's a physical bottleneck. And the issue is that there's not enough courses, not enough TDs. The PDGA may at some point have to look at their radius sanctioning deals, where maybe you can have 2 C tiers in the same city on the same day at some point. Is there anything that just hit you guys real hard in 2020 or 2021 that you had to scramble and figure out? I mean, were there bandwidth issues? Were there any sort of other like actual technological issues that the influx caused?
Well, there was that pandemic thing that you guys might have heard about.
Of course, the pandemic. Yeah, sure.
I haven't heard about it.
Staff. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's real or not, but it's some like, people keep talking about it.
I can hear about it. Yeah,
hear about it.
But... So, yeah, definitely some creeks. I think with disc golf scene, there was a ledge stone, which we can talk about. It's kind of another conversation.
Yeah, I think I emailed you like while that was going on. You're like, "Yo, April sounds better right now." I was like, that sounds better.
Yeah. But it's definitely interesting. I love to talk about it. I think we've definitely scaled up infrastructure on disc golf scene and PDGA just technology wise, because people are using that stuff all the time. Digital scoring was a huge part of that. So a lot of what I was doing right when things shut down in like March was working on the digital scorecard and the tournament manager and tournament central, so that because we were like we didn't know if disc golf was going to come back. Like we don't know what this looks like in a month. Are people going to be allowed to go outside? So if disc golf does come back, we know that people are not going to be gathering together. So just making sure we have tools for people to be able to run their events contactlessly was like a big part of that. And when more people are using it, digital scoring used to be kind of a novelty, and now people are using it for basically every event.
It's amazing.
So being able to support that and make sure, like, in the past PDGA stuff, it's like, you go to scores or whatever, and like you look up scores, and you can do that whenever. And if the website goes down on a Saturday, it's like, it's not that big of a deal. Like it's kind of annoying, but you can't see your ratings or whatever, but the tournaments keep going. But now it's like the software has to run all the time. Like people are relying on this stuff to run their events. And if it goes down or has issues, like it's a big deal and like screws things up in the real world, man.
Refund.
Are you in charge of that too?
Yes.
Dude.
We were busy.
We had some stuff go down at Grass Valley.
Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, anyway.
Sure. Yeah, we can talk about it. There's like kind of a thing with disc golf scene too, and with this stuff is like these things that are happening in real time. Mistakes that can be made. Like it's possible to make a mistake and you're configuring your event or configuring your, like say, your disc golf scene registration, and things don't work the way you expect them to, and then your players start yelling at you, and then you're like, I don't know what's going on. I need to get a hold of somebody, and it's like, I don't know, midnight on a Friday or something like that, and it's like, who do you talk to? So kind of a big thing for us is just making sure that I don't want to be. I have been, but I don't want to really be sitting at my computer on all Saturday and Sunday making sure things are going right. I want to make sure all this stuff works really well, that the tournament managers have, or the tournament directors have control over their events and can do whatever they want to do, but we really help guide them through so it's very difficult to make a mistake. And if they do make a mistake, it's really easy to recover from that mistake.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good one. Here's a question I thought I had too, because I know with like disc drops, you have manufacturers dropping discs and they're selling out in 30 seconds. You have bots that are doing a lot of that buying and all. Disc golf scene never have to deal with bots or anything weird like that? You have any weird cyber security issues you ever to deal with?
Well, sure. I mean, there's always like attacks and stuff, but you get like we have a service called Cloudflare that handles a lot of like the big stuff, like the obvious ones. Mm-hmm. We do have bots that create accounts, and we have some automatic and some manual mitigation strategies for those. Most of the time, it's not a big deal. I think there was one time, maybe a couple of years ago, that like some bot came on and sent messages to like 400 people that was just like linked them to some porn site. Super embarrassing. Yeah. So I just emailed everybody that got the message and was like, hey, this is what happened. This is what we're doing about it. Don't worry, it's not going to happen again. Sorry about it. Whatever. Most people were pretty cool about it. It's like the internet. Most people are cool about stuff. Some people are like super not cool about it, but most people were cool about it. Unfortunately, as far as bots go for like disc drops and stuff, like like Ticketmaster always has to deal with that stuff. The thing that's like a kind of a blessing with disc golf scene is that you can't really get into a tournament until you pay money. So you can't like reserve a spot and start checking out and hold it hostage in your shopping cart. You actually have to complete the process, which is great for that. It's great for like preventing abuse. There are some issues that have come up with like people. Like the ledgestone rush and like getting to the end of the form and being like, hey, we're out of this item and stuff like that.
Yeah. Is there a solution to that? I mean, also think about like the MA60 folks who just literally can't do it that fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a solution? Is there like will there ever be a reserve for 30 seconds, check out in 30 seconds thing or no?
Possibly. It's definitely something we're looking at. Yeah. We're looking at a couple of things that so I think ultimately it's always going to either be a race to click or it's going to be a lottery. And I think, like you mentioned, the race to click is kind of exciting. And like, some people get super stoked about it because they get in. And then like, the rest of the people don't get super stoked about it because it sucks. And they like, they planned this for a couple of weeks and they're all excited about it, sitting on their computer or their phone and whatever. And like, they're like ready to go at the very moment that the registration opens and like, they don't get in. And that's like a total bummer. So we are looking at the possibility of lottery system. The queue system, like reserved for 30 seconds, has also been considered. And The issue with something like that is that with something like Ticketmaster, you kind of have like you can do a queue because you have these sort of like physical items, more or less. Like you have one ticket for one seat or like a certain number of tickets, whatever. With registration, we have kind of an endless number of combinations of items. So you can have like a division that's full or not, and then you can have like certain items that are available, like a certain T-shirt size or a limited edition item or a whole sponsorship or whatever. So it gets really, really complicated when you try to reserve that stuff. Which is not to say that we shouldn't do it, but like somebody reserves something and then abandons their shopping cart, and then somebody else registers in that time and wanted something that the other person had and couldn't get it because it was out at the time, and then that person abandons their shopping cart and somebody else comes in later and reserves it and gets it, and it's like this whole other like, how do you explain that to your players? Like, this guy registered 10 minutes after me and he got this item that I wanted to get and I couldn't get it.
But he had been sitting in the cart. Yeah. That's
right. So
I get it.
It's somewhat complicated. So what we don't want to do is make this thing needlessly complicated to fix sort of just a small subset of potential issues with registration. I think ultimately what I push for is that we want to just be able to run more events. Mm-hmm. And that's a thing that's going to take a little while to get up to speed on, but I think long term, it's probably the ultimate solution. Other than a lottery system, which we might also do, but that's to go through some committee or some committees, and I think the board of directors as well, to make sure that that's something that we want to allow. Mm-hmm. And that would be like, you sign up for a lottery and then like, some number of people get to register at this particular time.
That sounds like a very heated debate coming down the pipe.
Yeah, it sounds like a giant debate.
Right. And I think it is a debate, and I think that ultimately it would have to be run through the PDGA or the disc golf scene system and be super transparent. Like, you can't just be like, yeah, I ran a lottery and like all my friends got in the first round, and to make sure that all that stuff is totally above board. So we are considering that sort of thing, but like I said, I think really we want to push for just easier to run events, more events, and that sort of thing, so that we can kind of cool this down a little bit and let everybody play that wants to play.
I love it.
How many angry emails on an average do you get in a day? All right, let's go a week. Disc golf people are normally pretty chill.
Fewer than one a day. I don't get too many angry emails, honestly, which is nice. I see angry comments online for sure, not necessarily directed towards disc golf scene, but directed towards like tournaments and whatever. I mean, it's been kind of a heated year, dude. Yeah, it's been like tournaments are filling up and things are changing. There's more women playing for one, and that's been a big thing. And like, the kind of historical, like we save 4 spots for FPO and 4 spots for FA1, and they hardly ever fill, and there's never a wait list, has totally changed. And so going forward, there's people that are, rightly upset about the fact that people can't get into tournaments, especially women can't get into tournaments that they want to play. So there are, and that's something that like people push back on, in sort of undiplomatic ways, I should say, and then everybody starts getting fired up back and forth.
That's undiplomatic ways is the most diplomatic way to say someone's being an ass.
Yeah, right.
It's so good.
Yeah, but it's a thing, man. And then also the stress of people were ready to sign up at the opening bell, and 100 of them ended up on the wait list. So kind of tensions are high, and just the fact that this year has been super tense for a lot of people anyways, just with COVID and everything, is like kind of a perfect storm of reasons to get angry online.
At least they're taking it out on the tournament director before they take it out on you.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like the buck usually stops at the tournament director, but a lot of times the buck can get past the disc golf scene or PDGA, and for like technical reasons or policy reasons, like I definitely have seen some folks be like, I don't know what happened with disc golf scene, like they screwed something up, and then like you can look and see what happened, and like the TD changed the setting like at the last minute or whatever, and like blocked some people from registering, and they're like, I don't know, it's disc golf scene, what are you gonna do? And people are like, disc golf scene sucks, man. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I hate not signing up via email anymore.
Yeah. What? I know, the old days. I looked up the old 2015 Memorial was like the first time I think Nico LaCastro got on the wait list for the 2015 Memorial, because he signed up 2 hours after registration opened. And I remember that being like kind of a stink on social media, or I guess it was just probably Facebook at that time. but they're like, why are these like 880 rated scrubs getting in, and Nico Lucastro can't even play?
Yeah.
He's a world champion, you know? And that was like the earliest of like people thought it was a big deal at registration filled in only 2 hours.
Dude, at the
Yeah,
local level,
right?
that is the
That's
only
hilarious.
argument there is right now. And the local level is like, why are the pros why are there 84 AMs and 16 pros? Well, the players packs pay for the tournament. I'm just saying, you know, it's like, yeah. It's not a disc golf scene thing. It's not a technological thing. It's literally a tournament director thing.
Sure, yeah.
So what's the rivalry, and why would anybody ever choose Disc Golf United over Disc Golf Scene? I personally hate Disc Golf United over Disc Golf Scene, but
I think
they could be the same developer for all I know, but one's easier to use than the other.
Sure. You know, I'm not sure. I've never used Disc Golf United myself. I would assume that we have better integration with PDGA systems, and I know that we do everything that like most everything that you'd want to do with registration, as far as customization and stuff like that. I think also the benefit of just the fact that you can email me and I can both answer your email and write code to do what needs to be done or tell you what needs to be done to solve your problem, I think is probably a big part of it.
Can you link? I think the only let me ask the question first. Can you link payout to a certain website? I think Disc Golf United can do that, and I think that's the only difference is if you finish in the money for AM, Disc Golf United will send you the gift card via email to go to whatever store and get your winning merch.
Well, that's because it's all Rock Hill. That's just Rock Hill running the monopoly. The other thing is too, remember that Disc Golf United was for Southern Nationals, and Southern Nationals was historically anti-PDGA, and that's probably part of this too.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah, we don't handle payouts basically in any way because the way Disc Golf Scene system works is typically we just send the money right to the tournaments. So we don't touch it at all, and it just goes right to whoever's running the tournament, which is great for most people in most situations, but it doesn't allow us to like actually send payouts. Although that is something that we've looked at and are considering.
Very nice.
I did have another question about Disc Golf Scene. Is there a way? Let's say I want to open registration to just women and juniors for a week, and then the next week at like 8 p.m. I want to open it to all the other divisions. Is there a way to set that up in Disc Golf Scene?
Yeah, do you mean without making anybody mad or just like...
No, there's no way to do it without making people mad.
Yeah.
No, just have it automated, kind of.
Yeah, you can do that. Yep, definitely. It's there's a registration schedule section on every tournament page that you can specify little tiers with a whole bunch of ways to customize it. Yeah.
There you go, TDs.
Yeah.
There you go, TDs. That's
there
all.
You go.
I knew the answer to the question.
Okay.
I just wanted to
it's a good one.
make sure everybody knows that you can set registration for different.
Here is straight from the word of the mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
The word of the mouth. Anyway. Yeah.
So it seems in the amateur player's perspective, that allowing PDGA, UDisc, Disc Golf Scene all be integrated. Is that they all think it's a no-brainer? Is there a reason that hasn't been done yet? Is there obstacles?
The business decision?
Business decisions, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where does UDisc lie in this universe? Yeah.
So sure. So PDGA and Disc Golf Scene are owned by the same company, owned by the PDGA.
Yep.
UDisc is a separate company; they're a private company, but we do partner. PDGA does partner with UDisc as the official app of the PDGA, and so I think the short answer is integrating two completely separate systems, no matter if they're owned by the same company or not, is easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is something that we're always looking for because, like, the idea is that you just want to make it easy for people to do whatever they want to do. Of course, the landscape is changing and it's moving more towards digital. In fact, just with COVID, it's basically been pushed almost directly into the deep end of digital. Like, we're just doing digital stuff now. So this is something we're continuing to look at and address. And I think just making sure that we keep the PDGA, and this is their mission as well, is just making sure that we serve the membership first and do what is appropriate for them. And then as long as we're guided by that principle, I think we're going to do the right thing.
Yeah, we had a viewer question. V-Sky wants to know, when are we going to get a Disc Golf Scene smartphone app?
Good question. Really good question. I know people have been asking about that for years. And we do have the mobile version of the site, which basically looks like an app. It's just not, it's not an app. So we take a look, maybe spend a little weekend doing something like that. I don't have a date for you, though, unfortunately, but it is something that we're aware of that people want. We want to think.
I think a lot of people, especially the guys doing bag tag updates, would love something. I think maybe that's the big driver there. But at least I have to do a lot of bag tag updates. So
yeah, actually, we did. I think just recently it wasn't possible to submit bag tag updates from the mobile version until maybe like a month ago. So yeah, it's just added. I'm like so terrible at marketing promotion. I never
you never told me.
Tell the one guy that emailed me, I'm like, hey, by the way, we did this, and I don't post about it anywhere.
Frolfcenter exclusive, bro. That's what
sounds like you need a marketing person or a social media person or something.
Yeah. Right. Well, again, it's been a one-man show for a long time, but it seems like at this point it's probably appropriate to maybe add somebody else to help out a little bit. But yeah, you can do bag tag updates from mobile now.
Anyway.
There we go. Frolfcenter exclusive again.
Yeah, we got an exclusive, boys. Yeah. Sort of.
Hey, and if you're in the engineering, computer engineering degree,
the
man up.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Bag tag options, timed everything. Yeah.
I guess this kind of ties into that. If someone handed you $100K for Disc Golf Scene, where would that money go? I mean, I think it only seems right to have another employee to help be on the same wave, right?
Is that a real offer?
I mean, we don't have it.
No, it's already got bought up. They already paid this.
Hell, I'll do the fundraising. Let's do it. If you put for all over Disc Golf Scene, let's do it.
If it was a gambling site, maybe. That'd be a good offer and make it a gambling site.
Dude, you need to get in with Fantasy World.
Right. Yeah, I think 100K would probably go to another engineer or something. At least somebody wouldn't have to do the customer service end of it, so I can just kind of focus on what needs to be done.
Right, that's huge. Just not having to deal with all the BS emails, so to say.
Yeah,
that come with running a business.
Sure. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't. Like I said, I kind of try to automate everything as much as possible, so I don't really have a ton of stuff to deal with all the time. But it is like every day. I think there hasn't been a day in years and years that I haven't done something with Disc Golf Scene, some kind of communication or monitoring or whatever. So it's not a mountain, but it's growing every day. So I think, like I said, we're probably going to evaluate that and see if it's worth bringing somebody else on, or at least have somebody from PDGA start to help out a little bit.
I mean, that would be huge. Yeah. Speaking of PDGA, so when will there be a real-time ratings update? That's
a good question.
Do you think that's something in the future?
Yes. No. Yeah. So technology-wise, I think we do have the ability to do that. It is possible, and we've tossed around the idea of doing that for pros. The reason historically that we haven't done that for amateurs is because there's a lot of amateurs that play a lot of disc golf that fluctuate between ratings brackets. So if you're an 890, 910 player and your rating is going up, every weekend or going down every weekend, then it's it becomes a nightmare to make sure that you're in the right division. So that's why historically It's been an every month sort of thing. So it doesn't just bump people up and down into different brackets.
Perfect.
But we have modernized a ton of the rating system in the last, I think, year and a half. So we do have some ability there to make some improvements going forward, and doing something at least making it not as much of a mystery in terms of what your rating is going to be might be something that we can do.
Nice.
So
I always, I really thought the answer to the question would be a 30-day reconciliation period for tournament TD reports. I didn't think it would actually be the division switching. I had a completely different idea what that answer was going to be. So
sure, yeah.
How long of a discussion? How long of a discussion would it be to discuss the algorithm?
I don't think it'd be a super long discussion.
How many points for rating?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do want to just quickly go back and say that the thing about the TD reports was also a deal for a while, because it used to be you had to fill out a spreadsheet that had kind of nothing to do with running the tournament. Like you'd run a tournament with paper scorecards and paper leaderboard cards and stuff, and then like sometime in the next month you get around to opening up that spreadsheet that you looked at once a year and like typing in everybody's score and stuff like that and deleting all the players or whatever. So super cumbersome process. So that was definitely, I think, a reason originally why they only did it once a month. But now
And it didn't love Apple computers.
Yeah, that's probably true. Nobody used Apple back in the day. But we did that. We moved that to the cloud. So like you submit your TD report online, and typically if you're using the digital scorecard, it's like a 5-minute process. Like all the scores are posted, you post the payouts, you hit a button, and it's good to go. So historically that was the reason, but no longer.
Yeah, the amount of times I've had to copy and paste from Excel to the old TD report was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It was awful. Like all the old TDs from 5 years ago. No, it was just an awful experience.
These kids don't know how good they have it.
I've got a couple of viewer questions I want to pop in real quick. Matt Versola wants to know, and I think I might know the answer to this, but have all TDs had the option to tier registration based on ratings, divisions, etc. this whole time?
The whole time?
The whole time?
Yes.
They can do it by ratings. That's true.
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't know that. See, now it would obviously be on the TD to say, like, this is a 900+ rated tournament. That's a thing that can happen for a local TD? Or is that a PDGA decision?
Yeah, let me just backtrack that bold statement I just made out loud in public.
I mean, it's only in perpetuity on the internet. You're good.
It's all right. We've only got 5 viewers.
You do. That's all right. No one's going to see this. You do have the ability to do it. Technically speaking, you definitely can. All the tournaments have those tools. As far as PDGA policy goes, I don't actually know. I feel like, I mean, obviously you can do it for Elite Series events.
Big Dog.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, Big Dog's the guy to talk to you, man. Big Dog himself, and he can let you know. But that's a good question. I'm gonna find that out for myself.
There you go. Dayton Snyder wants to know: do you have a dog, and is your dog a Frolfer?
I do have a dog, and he is enthusiastic about Frolf, but he's not very good.
Not very good. Gotcha. Very toothy.
What kind of dog?
Too much for grip. Yeah.
He's a mixed breed. He's mostly boxer, I guess.
Nice.
Is that what you tell him so you can get the apartments rented, or is he a pit bull?
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's got a little bit of pit bull in him too. But they told us they decided to use a lab hound. But we did a DNA test, if you trust those things. Zero lab, zero hound. They totally pulled one over on us, but he's a real good-looking dog. He's a real good boy.
I got a little pit bull myself, and it was a pain in the butt trying to rent places. So like, that's a pit bull. I'm like, it's 30 pounds. Get out of here.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to know.
It doesn't have a light jaw on the Frisbees.
No. He's definitely he's pretty good at in the backyard when I putt to not mess with my discs, but on the course, he sees someone to be thrown and he goes after it, which makes sense because I throw other stuff, and he's just not educated enough to tell the difference between a Frisbee and like a squish toy.
Yeah,
that's right.
Maybe someday.
A ribeye steak. Yeah.
Ribeye steak. So I'm going to ask on both your PDGA job and your disc golf scene job and where they do separate, what's the most tedious part of both of those jobs?
Most tedious part of disc golf scene is probably looking at new members and making sure they're not spam.
Shit.
Which I do once a day. I do it in the morning. It takes like 15 minutes, but it's just like, okay, you're normal. Click.
How many new members a day? About
a few dozen, probably.
Wow, that's awesome.
All right. What about with the PDGA?
PDGA, there is probably the ratings review process before every update.
Mm-hmm.
So their system goes through all the tournaments and like raises flags if something it looks weird, like if like a bunch of 800 rated golfers shot 1090 rated rounds. So
wasn't raining that hard, bro.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. So that
do you ever have to call Chuck Kennedy and be like, "Yo"?
Yeah. No, it's I've
Is
never
Chuck
run
still
into an
involved?
algorithm
I'm sorry
issue.
to.
No.
No, that makes
Chuck's
it
not
easy.
involved anymore.
Mm-mm.
Okay, good answer.
Nope.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I have to like go through and just check that stuff, and it's never a math issue. It's just like a configuration issue. Like they just assigned like the juniors to like the pro layout or something like that. And then there can be other issues like when the weather conditions change between rounds and stuff, and just making sure that we're accounting for that sort of thing. So it's a little
Why
tedious because
didn't
you got
my
to kind of dig
rating
into a
go
little
up
bit.
last month?
Is there a way to change the negative rating that players might get at a tournament? They end up with a negative rating, and I know it goes back to 0, but is there a way to fix the mentality of them looking at their rated
right.
round and it's negative?
I've definitely heard players say like I'm gonna purposely shit the bed this round just so like I'm 100 points below my rating.
No, that's not at all what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you shoot 117 because you're a 7-year-old girl, and your rating comes out negative 320 points.
Ooh, ouch.
I don't think that's a possibility. I think you would just be rated.
It's happened. It's happened at some of my tournaments. So
yeah. Yeah, the cool thing, the cool thing about ratings is there is no upper limit to how badly you can shoot in disc golf. There's like you can take an infinite number of strokes in a round. I've gotten pretty close myself sometimes. So I don't think though. I think if there's an actual negative rating showing, that's a bug. So if you could shoot me a link to somebody's profile that has that,
no, well, it
it's supposed to
corrected
stop at 0.
Yeah, it corrected itself once the ratings got published, and it was a 0.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, so just like the unofficial rating is like negative 100.
Yeah, and it's very depressing for someone to look at their rating and see that.
That's super harsh, man. I don't know if I can come back from that one. Ooh.
Yeah, that one hurts.
I would want to quit disc golf if I get a negative rating.
Yeah, and it was kids on a
Yeah.
on a big course. It was a youth event mixed in with a amateur event.
It was one of those plus 70
great first experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so back on to both of your jobs. What's the most rewarding part of both jobs?
I like seeing people thank TDs for what they're doing. Like when you get on an event and, basically every night there's an event that fills up in a minute. Like it's never happened before, but this year it's like happening all the time. And, there's like I said, most people on the internet are cool. Small percentage of people are super not cool. And perhaps even a smaller percentage of people are super, super cool. And those folks that get on and say, hey, thanks TD for like doing what you're doing, man. We love this event. Super awesome. It's great. Sometimes people email the PDGA and they're like, thanks, you just help them out with something. And they say thanks about it. So like me seeing people that want to help disc golf succeed and have people take notice of that is super rewarding, man. I think that's the best thing about disc golf scene too, is like feeling like you're helping somebody out. They want to do something for other people, which is run disc golf events, and you somehow make that easier for them. That's awesome. That makes it feel worth it.
Right on. What would you be doing if disc golf didn't exist?
Ooh, boy.
I forgot about this question.
Yeah. Well, my skateboarding career never really took off.
Oh, okay. Same.
So, yeah. I think it happens to a lot of us. It's really hard. I don't know because I was
still skateboard.
Terribly.
Me,
I do have a board.
I do.
I roll around.
Yeah. I mean, what I love about disc golf is that it's not scary at all.
One wheel yet?
And you hardly ever hurt yourself.
You know what I say?
don't have a one wheel yet.
I do say to people, I grew up skateboarding, and I think there is a commonality between the two. The culture, first of all, we're in a very skateboard-driven culture. It's all personality-driven. We're banking on it as a company that sells hats. But what I wanted to say, the disc golf and skateboarding are similar in the way that you can take each of them as seriously as you want to and still have maximum fun, which I think there's a commonality there. But yeah, so what would you do? No disc golf. Would you be making a skatescene.com?
No, probably not. Because I think my big skate years were like 13 to 18. And so by the time I started doing like engineering as a job, I was probably 19, maybe 20. So I don't know, because like disc golf scene is super integral to my life. Like like I said, I went to college a little bit, but I never went to university, never got a degree. And so my first corporate job I got about eight years ago. And a big part of my resume, not having a degree, was disc golf scene. Was just like, this is the thing that I built and I've run for years and years, and I can talk all about the technology stack because I know it, because I wrote it. And so that kind of got me in there. Although what got me the interview was playing Magic the Gathering. It's like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I went to like a local store in Ann Arbor, and I was like, I remember this game from when I was little. I'm gonna go see what it's like to play with strangers or whatever. And I went and I was like, just kind of shooting the shit with this guy. And he's like, hey, do you do computer programming? And I was like, I do. And he's like, my boss like loves Magic players that do computer stuff. So like, come in for an interview. So we did that, and then I had the disc golf scene. And that's kind of like how I got in. And then at that point, it was kind of like, this seems like a real actual career, like engineering. And so here we are. So man, I don't know. I'll be floating along like a bump on a log, I guess.
Dude, my buddy just spent a bunch of time. My buddy just spent a bunch of time with. He did a bunch of schooling, and now he just got hired by JP Morgan to do all their back in their internet stuff. So
that's
nice. Good story. Good story.
Great story, Austin.
Good story,
Austin.
Yeah,
we got a couple more minutes. We got a few more questions. We're gonna go fun questions now. Is that good with you?
These weren't the fun questions?
Yeah, the fun ones are coming.
Okay.
Fun questions now.
Great, I'm ready.
All right. So when you're plugged up, or maybe you're driving to the course and you just really need to get pumped up, what's the go-to song?
Sorry, you said plugged up. Does that mean like
headphones?
Like coding.
Oh.
Like you're coding all night, or you're on your way to the course. What really gets you pumped up?
Man, I tell you, I listen to a lot of the Strokes.
Nice.
Kind of dig just like the rhythm. So that might be what I am doing. I think when I used to work out a lot, and I would listen to a lot of the Darkness. So I love that like kind of like homage to hair metal stuff, just like the super, self-aware shredding, and just that kind of thing. So I would say, probably the Darkness or the Strokes.
Nice.
Oh yeah, good answer.
What about after you finished a big project, or you won the disc golf tournament? What's your celebratory meal and drink?
Oh man, I'm a Midwest boy. I think my grandmother hails from West Virginia, so I'm totally like steak and mashed potatoes.
Yes.
Yeah,
rib
little
stick
bourbon.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
Yep.
I love this guy. You must know this guy, Spring Tooth Drag. Lawrence fucking Welk, he said, would be your music. I don't think that's true. This guy's having a great night, by the way. I don't know who this guy is, but he is lighting the chat up with some gems. Is that whiskey right there?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Bourbon. There's a place called Mammoth Distilling. It's just like a Michigan company, and they have this bourbon called Borrowed Time, or it's not. What is it? Where'd it go? There it is. It's called, I guess it's Borrowed Time. So they aged 17 years.
Nice.
But they've only been around for like 5 years. So they like source it from somewhere else and then like age it for like 2 or 3 years in their own barrels or whatever. But
okay.
17's a lot of numbers for whiskey. That's a lot.
It's super good.
Yeah, that's
it sounds
up
amazing.
there.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. Yeah. Come out to Michigan sometime.
I'm the bourbon guy here. Those guys like beer. Adam likes some bourbon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly beer.
I had some Japanese whiskey the other
That's
night.
a thing now.
Oh yeah, good story,
Yeah.
Cody.
I didn't know it was really good.
Anywho.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a hard one now.
When you become the president of the PDGA, what is your first thing on the agenda?
Wow.
If you don't want it, I'll just make you one for a week. What's the thing you're gonna do?
I'm the president of the PDGA. being the
incorporate
president, well,
this
we don't have, okay, so there's a president of the board of directors and there's an executive
Right.
director.
Correct.
I don't think I could come close to doing as good a job as either of those guys do right now. So maybe in 10 years when I have a chance to like learn from them a little bit more, I'll be able to tell you what to do. But man, it's those are tough jobs. Like it kind of blew my mind the first time I showed up to a PDGA summit, like a board of directors summit, to hear the level of insight that the board of directors has into disc golf and the sport and how it's run, like the complications of governing a sport. Really, really interesting. Still way above my pay grade. So I'm going to keep hacking away on a computer, try to keep my head above water as the director of technology, and just hopefully like we keep building stuff that people like, that gets people involved in disc golf and doesn't give them negative player ratings, and keeps them coming back to play more tournaments.
No negative player ratings. That's his agenda, folks. No negative.
Yeah. It was just off the topic like that.
Okay, so I know I spilled the tea on this one during our little audio-visual test, but when was the last time you were at a Waffle House, and what was your order? Do you have any idea?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I was ever at a Waffle House.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I've been doing IHOP. That's the different thing, though, right? That
is a different thing. We always ask the Waffle House question because we're from the South. So if you don't have an answer, that's cool. I have a secondary question.
What's your White Castle order?
Did you go to White Castle? Do you have White Castle up there?
No.
Do you have any sort of like regional fast food up there that we can bug you about?
In Michigan?
Yeah.
It's always one of those things like you go to a different state and you're like, you don't have Meyer here? You know, like
we don't have Meyer. Yeah, I don't know what Meyer is.
Yeah,
somebody
never heard of a Meyer.
Pinball Pete's in A2. Do you know anything about Pinball Pete's?
I do. I feel like they're struggling now, but it's like a historic arcade. Super awesome. They have a ton of pinball machines, obviously, but everything else.
Right, and what's your favorite beer at Shorts then? How about we go with that?
Shorts, nice. I think Hoomaloo-Palicious is a go-to at Shorts. We were actually, my wife and I, just up in Bel Air a few months ago, and went to their little brew pub there. Man, it's super cool. It's like all Wien themed and stuff. Are you guys familiar with Shorts?
No, not at all. We don't see it down here.
No,
we're from way down here.
We're from down where the banjos are, bud. Yeah.
Thanks for explaining it so I can understand what the.
Yeah. Sorry.
I started here and then went way down, like down here.
Yeah. Shorts is great. Shorts is great for sure, man. That's cool. That's like the third. I'd say a third tier of like beers that have escaped from Michigan. It's like Bell's. You guys probably know Bell's, right? Like
Bell's Too Hard. It is the famous.
Yeah. And then Founders is probably below them. Like
Founders is problematic. Yep. Founders has problems. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Shorts has no problems at all whatsoever. They're just like oddballs, but and it's really big in Michigan. But I don't know that it's gotten much farther than maybe
I don't think they distribute down here.
I don't see them.
I've definitely had Founders and Bells for sure.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Bells good. I see that keyboard back there. What kind of music do you play?
Ooh, nothing good. I'm more of a guitar player myself, although okay. I have this keyboard and spend a little time trying to learn a little bit. I'm super interested in music theory, but I don't give it enough effort, really, enough to be.
Do you think as an engineer? Do you think as an engineer someone who thinks kind of in that linear analytical thing that music theory should be easy, but it's not?
This is probably just arrogance, but I feel like it's one of those things where I'm just if I just spent some time, I could probably figure it out, but I never spend the time. So it's just I could do that if I wanted to. Yeah.
What do you jam? What do you if you're just jamming on guitar? What are you playing? Are you playing Strokes-ish, kind of like classic rock influenced rock? You're playing blues? You're just playing Green Day covers?
Yeah. I play a couple Strokes songs, mostly just Skynyrd. Yeah, Skynyrd. Hell yeah. Cowboy chords mostly, like campfire songs. You know
okay, cool. Kumbaya.
Wagon wheel type stuff,
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, you get drunk and it sounds even better. Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
Wonderwall, perfect. Yeah.
So, Our weekly, it was a viewer question to start. It's turned into a weekly question, and it's so dumb. But
Yeah.
what's your favorite condiment?
I've had I feel like an awakening because when you're a kid, well, I never liked mayo. I'll tolerate
Oh,
mayo now,
God.
but I
Well,
feel
it's
like
nice having you on, bud. See you later.
I feel like no, it's okay. It's all right. Somebody for everyone, but when they like add some spice to it, and I think they call it an aioli, which is like, all right, that's pretty good. So I feel like the problem is probably me. But then ketchup totally legit. That's like the thing growing up. It was like, oh, I put ketchup on it. It's great. And mustard, I was like, no way. But as an adult, I'm like, dude, mustard it's where it's at, man. There's so much variety. So interesting. It can be spicy. It can be not spicy.
That great poupon.
Yeah, exactly. And you can be like arrogant about it too, and like talk like that. Only Grey Poupon for me. Although I don't. Is that even good anymore? Or is that like the stuff that they try to tell you is like really good? So you spend next.
They
time.
have craft
mid-class
mustard now, so I have no idea.
Oh God, yeah. You can get artisanal mustard at the farmer's market in Atlanta. It's crazy.
Yeah, I got picked it up at the farmer's market last week.
You can get like artisanal everything now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right.
I got
That's
artisanal styrofoam the other day. It was crazy. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Shit, we're almost sponsored by Artisan Ales.
We are. Yeah, we're almost sponsored by a beer company, but
we're
we
getting
keep
there.
having shows where we get too drunk and then they won't sponsor us. But
So
your favorite
if you
question?
could play with any celebrity out there, non-disc golfer, who would be your celebrity doubles partner?
Celebrity doubles partner. Are we trying to win?
It doesn't matter.
up to
It
you.
doesn't
Money on the
matter,
line?
dude.
Most
fun wins.
Most fun wins.
I don't know if
Always.
I believe that, but yeah.
Well, then pick Serena Williams.
Well, most money wins. Who you got?
Most money wins.
Either way, both of them.
Man, I don't know. Who seems like they would want to play disc golf? I feel like everybody now, actually, it's like kind of becoming a thing. Like celebrities are like, hey, let's play disc golf.
I mean,
Cool.
Bryson DeChambeau was playing out in Augusta earlier this
Right,
week.
Yeah. I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Speaking of, we need to holler at him for the show. Just sorry, side note to the gentleman.
Sure.
Yeah, if you can get him,
Squeeze him in.
keep going.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get him in on the show.
Whose brain do you want to pick for 18 holes?
Right, exactly. He's I actually have had the opportunity to play with this guy before, but I would consider Stork PDGA number 3 to be kind of a disc golf
Dan
celebrity.
Rodman.
And this dude is like, he does these things with the disc, man. Like he's getting older, but he can achieve so much like cool flight with his disc, man. He'll do these little flicks and stuff, and super fun to play with, and so knowledgeable, man. He's been in the sport like since it was conceived. He's he's been around for so long. Really, really interesting guy to talk to. Awesome partner. I'd recommend it to anybody, and he'd probably want to play with anybody that would ask him.
What about non-disc golfer? You gotta.
Well, non-disc golfer.
Yeah.
Well, that I think Stork could be considered a celebrity at this point.
Consider them both.
Yeah, but he's definitely a disc golfer.
But yeah, I want a non-disc golfer, like a movie celebrity or a music celebrity.
You
You gave me the safe answer.
Yeah, what? How do you think Bernie Sanders would handle around a disc golf?
Dude.
I got a friend with a
From
bird
Vermont.
with Bernie Sanders' face on it. It's called a Bergie Sanders. So he's really good on approach shots, Bergie Sanders.
For 45 episodes, that's only the second time I've spit my drink out.
Yeah. That's a good answer. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
You think he'd just sit there on the tee box with his hands crossed?
Just like,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
No,
That'd be good.
I think he'd be into it, man. He's like from Vermont. Like you have to be kind of a little outdoorsy, right?
He'll take you out to like Mad River Glen. He'll take you up to Smuggler's Notch. You get some really good tacos for some reason in Vermont. It doesn't make any sense. There's good tacos up there.
Yeah.
And he's buying. He's definitely buying. So
Yeah. And he's
I
probably
would hope so.
smoking too. Bernie's probably got Bernie's probably having a good time.
Yeah, Bernie's probably vaping down.
Anywho, Austin, you got a fun one.
Yeah, so
This is a hot one, so you can defer the answer on this if you need to.
Yeah, we can skip if you want.
Spicy.
So when you sold Disc Golf Scene, can you tell us about that deal? Is it Prius money or like Benzo money?
Well, I'm still working.
Yeah, you're still
Okay.
working. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
My
it's still
toilets
working
are
for
made of
PDGA.
porcelain.
You got any other
No.
apps in the works that's going to be like the next up and coming? Like besides disc golf, like screw disc golf altogether. Like, you got anything else in the works?
Pick up soccer games, you know.
Yeah.
Are you
like
are you
going back to-
running MLB 66 IR or what?
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, like a different sport. I don't know. We'll see, man. It's
I mean, I know
You know,
computer
going-
engineers, like, they're constantly like looking for the next best thing to like make them money.
sure. Yeah, like gotta disrupt everything, man. It's gotta disrupt, dude. It's totally broken. Disc golf's broken, man.
So totally new social media platform here.
Yeah, payouts are broken, man. Disc golf scene's broken. We're gonna come in there. We're gonna do registration
exactly.
with Bitcoin, man. Yeah.
Exactly, dude. What do you want to?
How much Bitcoin do you own? That's the question.
0.00000 I don't know, 3 maybe.
All right, I'll buy you out with my 0.0000.
Nice. That sounds like it's worth about 100 grand.
All right, let's do it.
No. So like, joining the PDGA was kind of like, it wasn't like, there's more money coming into disc golf now,
Mhm.
but like historically, disc golf is not like a money making venture. Like not a lot of pros were making money. Also, that's changed in the past couple of years. A few manufacturers maybe. PDGA probably made a modest amount, and so it wasn't like, here's a bunch of money, here's your stuff, or like, give us your stuff, go away. It was a whole thing. Like, I knew Steve Gans well. He came out to visit in Ann Arbor. We played some disc golf like a few times. We talked on the phone, talked about what the future was, and it was kind of like, we wanted to bring disc golf scene in because it's a great system, and it's like, it's important because it takes money from people, and like, if you're doing that and you're being kind of a broker for these things, like, you have to be responsible and make sure everything's got a light on it, and you're not like, trying to scam whatever people. So it's like, having that reputation of a trustworthy source was important to them. And then it was, Steve wanted me to come on and be his successor for the job, take technology where the PDGA needed it to go. So for me, I felt like disc golf was small enough to where I could make a big impact in it. Like it's a small enough sport where I could put in some effort and like really help shape where it's going and work for some positive end. So it was kind of a holistic deal like that, where it wasn't just like, I'm going to sell and then get out of here and then move on to the next thing. It was like, they wanted me to be on board, like part of the team, like come on board and then work for us and then help take the PDGA's tech stack forward. So that was kind of the idea. And so far it's been working out pretty well.
Awesome. Very good. We got a couple of viewer questions if you got a couple more minutes with us. Are you good?
Sure.
You good on time?
Yeah.
Cool. Dayton Snyder wants to know, what was your max bench at your peak?
Do you even lift, bro?
Not anymore. Oh man, I don't know, 285 probably.
Wow.
All right, V Sky wants to know, pop or soda?
Shit.
Well, I'm from Michigan, so we call it pop
It's
here.
definitely
Although
pop.
I feel like I've stopped doing that. I feel like I've started saying soda, although I don't really ever order it, so I don't really have to say it out loud. I just feel like being like, "Give me a pop," kind of sounds like
Give me a pop.
something weird about that.
I'm from Buffalo, and we had the weird, like, some people did pop, some people did soda, and now I'm in Atlanta, and we just call everything Coke, and they're like, what
Yeah,
flavor?
it's
I'm like,
ridiculous.
That's
Sprite.
right, yeah, Sprite
I
Coke.
want a Coke. What flavor? Sprite. That's no.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
I'm from Coke. Oh, I'm sorry, we have Pepsi products. Okay, give me a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love it.
give me a Mountain Dew.
Somebody goes, I'll have a Coke. Is Pepsi okay? And then somebody goes, well, is Monopoly money okay? Because like, We're a little harsh on it.
Y'all
Anyway,
have no idea. We have cheer wine up here. I have no fucking clue what that shit is.
it's cavities. It's cavities in a bottle, dude. That's what cheer wine is.
Oh,
Just another soda.
No, it's terrible. It's like a weird.
I haven't tried it
scary-
yet. I'm scared. I'm scared of
It's like
it.
cough syrup medicine. It's terrible.
It's like cough syrup.
Gross.
Pete, thank you so much for coming on. Final question for you. Do you have any questions or advice for us?
Questions or advice? Well, I like what you're doing. I like the vibe.
Thanks.
I found it interesting. I was looking at reading some blog posts on Frolfcenter.com, and I was interested in like the parallels between skateboarding, the skateboarding industry, and disc golf. And I feel like I'm seeing a lot of that stuff too. You know, like when I was coming up, I think Tony Hawk was already kind of considered a sellout, but it was like before pro skater, so it wasn't like super huge like it got.
Yeah.
You know, like there, you know, he was probably the only millionaire skateboarder, but then like just some random guys like got super successful for some reason. Like some pros that I felt like were kind of like sort of like mid-level, like nobody's, like for some reason like they got like super popular. I feel like Stevie Williams is one of those guys where I was like, oh yeah, he was good, but like all of a sudden he like blew up somehow.
It was
So
a
like
shoot.
that's been kind of interesting to see that same sort of stuff happen with disc golf. I feel like kind of, I mean, I guess I probably shouldn't name any names, but I've been surprised at like the people that have had success, and it's fantastic. But it's really interesting to see that kind of grow up, and you know, people kind of like their hobbies the way that they were when they found them.
Yep.
And I feel like we're seeing a lot of that with disc golf, like we did with skateboarding. You know, it was like, you know, I've been skateboarding for 2 years, and I think this guy's a poser. You know,
A
it's
lot
like,
of gatekeepers.
Yeah.
totally.
He
you know,
used to
so-
be an inline blader, bro.
yeah, right, exactly. You know, took the words right out of my mouth. So I don't know if there's like actually something we can learn from that or what, but I do think it's cool that like at least you guys are exploring that sort of thing, and I would be interested in diving a little deeper there, because I think there's good sides and bad sides to that sort of growth.
100%.
And that change.
I'm of the belief that we are in the like disc golf is in the late 90s, skateboarding we're in the pre Tony Hawk Pro Skater era, but we already know that like Andy McDonald and Tony Hawk are like kind of PG rated, and we're kind of like Paul Macbeth, Brody Smith are kind of PG rated, and there are people who are looking for something that's a little grittier than what some of the major manufacturers, like the biggest social media presences, are not as gritty as 90% of people who play disc golf are. And I think there's going to be, we're going to bounce off that wall. We're going to hit that. Like, this is really getting kind of corporate. This is really getting PGA.
Dark Ace apparel.
And there's going to be a big bounce back into the like, yo, we really just want to go out in the woods with our friends and throw Frisbees and not worry so much. So there's going to be,
But we really want to know everything about it too.
but just like skateboarding, everything right now, just like skateboarding and snowboarding to an extent, and now skiing is going to be personality driven. So it used to be you played disc golf, you liked the Destroyer, that was your identity. But now you're a guy who is either a Paul Macbeth fan or a Brody fan or a Nico fan.
It's
You're
Prodigy, Nico, Discraft,
Players-
Innova. It's
players
Nico.
run the
Yeah.
brand now, and that's something that definitely came out of skateboarding, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
I think as long as we start making, I mean, Paige Pierce is crushing it. Paige Pierce has a line of things that say Paige Pierce, and she's making a lot of money on it. You know, I mean, that was something that disc golf didn't have until Macbeth kind of jumped up, I think. I mean, Kenny to some extent, but it's more fun now. I love that. I think we want to have you back on the show sometime. And
This is a topic we can talk about for another 30 minutes.
I could
honestly.
talk about the skateboarding disc golf channel for days. It's terrible. But anywho, I appreciate you saying that, and I would love to have you back on the show to talk about that sometime soon. So,
Pete, dude, thank you so much for everything you do.
That, we've been at it for an hour and 10 minutes. I'm going to put you on the big screen and let you tell the people everything they need to know about what you're doing, how to follow you, how not to follow you, what's coming in the works. We're just going to give you the 30 seconds to just give it all to everybody.
Wow. All right, great. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. You probably can't find me on social media. I'm more of a lurker, but you can email me anytime at technology@pdga.com or pete@discgolfscene.com. Love to help you out with your disc golf stuff.
All right, that was easy. Thank you so much, Pete. We'll hit you up about having you back on the show sometime. You'll come back?
Love to.
Awesome, buddy. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Have a good
fellas.
night.
Thank you, Pete.
Oh, that was awesome.
Man.
That was like the coolest. That was one of my favorite shows we've done in a while too.
Dude, I love Pete's sarcasm. He's one of us, bro. He's one
Dude, he
of
whipped
us.
the glasses off the first time. I was like, oh boy, here we go. That's what we're doing. Hey, next week, guys, so you know, we have a previous guest back on. His name is Pat LePage. When he was with us before, he was working for a disc manufacturer. Now he's working for a company called Disc Dot. And what Disc Dot does are make little glow-in-the-dark balls that smack onto your chains or your practice basket so that you can actually practice in the dark. He's got some other items too, some like round targeting deals. Like basically, say you have your 10, 15, 20 feet. He's going to come on and tell you all about it. I know it's a little confusing when I'm just flashing these in your face. So next week, Pat LePage is going to be there. Don't forget, for all for Fridays, on Friday, long pads. This is going to get you ready for the Perkins Park Open on Sunday. Come see us. $2, $5, $10, $345, $420. Those are all the numbers you need to know. We're giving away one of these hats right here. Free CTP on 14. We're giving away $20. Free CTP on 14. We're giving away a pair of Gooder sunglasses. Free CTP on number 14. Anyway, I'm Adam.
Peace, Adam. It's been a pleasure. I wish I could defend my title at Perkins Park Open this weekend, but you know, it is what it is. I've had a blast. This has been fun. Cody, Austin Lytle. See y'all later.
Guys, follow me at Codes for Real on Instagram. Check out my Facebook. Sign up for the tournament. But most of all, just subscribe to the YouTube. Please, God, just subscribe. We'll make it happen. Love you guys. Bye.
Shoppers, can I get a fucking oh yeah? Thank you.